So here we are. Finally made a trip to the Adirondacks. Welcome to the West Canada Lake Wilderness. Right now we're starting on the French Louis Trail. We're gonna make a little loop going around several lakes here in the Adirondacks and some supposedly beautiful campsites. My first trip to the Adirondacks backpacking, I didn't want to just hit peaks. Adirondacks, first thing I think is like high peaks. I wanted to avoid the Mount Marcy touristy area and the outrageous parking you have to pay. This here is a little off the beaten path. Right now we just walked up to we'll call it an access trail. We're gonna make a little loop out of this, which actually you can find on all trails, but I've learned over the years not to rely 100% on all trails. So I went over to the West Canada Lake Wilderness website here, and they have great information, maps, campsites, forest ranger, telephone numbers. So did all the preparation to come here. Now there are some primitive campsites and there are some lean-to campsites. So we have our choice throughout this 4 days, which could be done in 3, but I gave myself a 4-day window. Now at that intersection back there, I chose to do a counterclockwise path. We're gonna go head up to Cedar Lakes first for tonight. And there's 2 designated camp areas right along the lake there. So, and I know one group is ahead of me with 6 people in it, or 4. But I know they said they're going counterclockwise as well, so I assume they meant this way. So there was no other trail to go counterclockwise on as of yet. Beautiful fall colors up here north. I don't even have like 5 miles planned. I don't think it's that much. I don't have that many miles planned each day, so I have the option to do a big mileage day and take a day off. But the more I read about this area and this particular hike, it seemed like the more time you could spend on it, the better. And it sure does look that way from this perspective. So been a nice cruise control here. Nice easy trail. Nothing overgrown. No blowdowns to deal with. Very nice trail. We're coming up on the Cedar Lakes campsite now. I'm curious to see how many spots are available. If I'm going to be showing up late and not get a spot, or it's wide open, or I'm worrying about it too much. We'll see. A little bit of rocks here and there, but nothing really slowed me down too much. Okay, here we are at something. We have an arrow here. It's making sure you know the trail is going to turn right here. But there is a little footpath off to the left here. This is Cedar Lake Creek. Where I'm stepping. Yeah, it looks like there used to be a bridge going across right there. When I came around that corner, I thought this might have been a campsite over here, but I think it's just remnants of the old bridge here. I mean, you could camp there. I mean, there's the fire pit. So here's an option for me to camp. Like I said, this is not marked on my map. Let's get back to the real trail. Find these campsites. This is an option for me if it's overly crowded there. Now I had the signs in the beginning and one sign in between and that one arrow, but other than that, these trails they're not really marked. Not like the trails I'm used to with trail markings. You got a path and a sign every once in a while. Speaking of signs, we just came to some more here. Looks like another trail register up here. Up here we have some signs. This is exciting for me being in a new place. Really needed some new stuff to come explore. So now we're gonna be on the other side of where that old bridge used to be. Now we're gonna hike a little bit on the Northville Placid Trail. This is a longer distance trail. That intrigues me. I think our campsite should be up here a little bit. Oh, here's one. Camp. Awesome. I could have this to myself. I do have a bear canister for this trip. I don't know if it's exactly required here, like in the high peak wilderness, but I'm treating it that way. Beautiful spot, man. First night in the Adirondacks. Couldn't be happier so far. I'm gonna go and get the tent set up. Probably gonna gather some firewood. Beautiful fire pit. Relax after that long day of driving and mild hiking. This is my vacation hike, you know? I remember doing this a couple years back on the old Loggers Path where I went up there and spent an extra night up there. I think 2 nights? 3 nights. It might have been 2. Either way, it was longer than I needed. Just went up there to relax. I remember it was middle of summer, no water. This is that trip for me. Just kick back and relax and enjoy my first backpacking trip in the Adirondacks here. So this is how I decided to pack my pack for this one here. Let me go ahead and show you. I've been like keeping the hat on top in case I needed it this summer, and keeping the bug net inside and the rag inside of it. It just makes sense to me. First off, I have my cup and my stove, and then I have my bag of smelly stuff such as bug spray and suntan lotion, toothpaste. Then after that, I have my toilet paper bag and my emergency kit, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's not exactly for an emergency. There's all kind of things in there like ibuprofen and that. After that, I have my batteries, and it worked out that I could just set my tent right next to the bear canister in there and get nice and snug. I got 4 days of food in that. I could probably fit 5 in there. I bet you I could fit 6 in there if I really tried. So far, the weight's not too bad for a 4-day trip. Feel pretty good with the tent setup. So I found I can put the rainfly on and roll it back, and it kind of holds pretty good there. I call it my stargaze view. Really easy for bringing equipment in and out of the tent. I've really enjoyed this Nemo tent. One thing I did have to fix, I don't know if I put this in one of my videos, was one of my favorite features of it was these pullouts you can do on the side that hook onto the rainfly that give you extra room inside. And boy, does it make a difference, the width it gives you. I found the knots that I had in mind, it was just held on there by a knot, and the knot eventually came through the hole that it was supposed to be holding. So I'm glad I found that little hook that was on there. I double knotted it and redid both of them. And then on the menu, I got a mountain house menu this trip. We have beef stroganoff. So I'd say a pretty good start to my first Adirondacks backpacking trip. Good morning. That was a chilly night. It's already warmed up really nice with that sun coming up right on the tent here. Nice peaceful night's sleep. Boy, I really enjoyed looking at the stars last night. That was my entertainment for the evening before I went to bed. Shortly after I woke up, a guy and his dog were hiking by, going the opposite way I was coming. His pack was pretty loaded. I was thinking he was on the Northville Placid Trail, long distance hiking. I'm gonna go and get this packed up. I'm not stressing out about miles today. We have about 6 miles planned, possibly more, depending on where I want to camp. We're gonna head towards Mud Lake and see what that looks like. There should be a camp there. If that doesn't work out for me, I can hike over to West Lake, and there's some camps over there too, so we have options. Boy, my little pack is getting tore up over the years. I think this might be the last year. It's gonna be time to get a new one this time. I've been getting a big tear right there, and it's just been getting bigger, and I have little tears all over this mesh part here. And this morning I noticed the pack's starting to rip over on this side, and the back support mesh has been ripping for a little bit, and it's just getting worse. But I love the pack though. It lasted quite a few years. I got that in 2018. Many miles on that, many days and nights on the trail. So good chance I'm gonna get another arc haul again, because I did just replace that hip belt. I even added the lumbar support to it, which is such an upgrade. Okay, one last sweep of camp here. Make sure I didn't forget anything, but I'm good to go. Left more wood for the next person to start a fire. Maybe a little more wood than I had. So that's totally out. I love the terranium here. Pretty cool scene. Great night for my first night in the Adirondacks. Let's see what this day has in store for us. Oh, and just a short walk up from where I was camping, here's the lean-to. Looks nice and well kept. Nice little beachy area down here from the lean-to. Nice and sandy. Fire pit. This would be a cool hangout. A helicopter just touched down in the middle of the lake over there. I couldn't get it on camera, but I was listening, and I said to myself, that sounds close, and it sounds like it's powering down, you know? And I looked over, it's just right there. I wonder if there's an open spot I could get a better shot of it. That would have been so neat to watch that land there. That is too cool. I saw an airplane go over me yesterday with pontoons over it. It was quite low. But it did not land in the lake. Okay, I kind of got the takeoff there. That was too neat to watch. My new guess, my new theory is it was some kind of training. I wonder if it was like training. That was pretty neat, man. Now our trail's going to continue going straight there, but this is that same yellow marker that I saw by that camp on the other side of Cedar Lake there before I came to the camp I stayed at last night. Now, it's finally occurring to me, this probably says a camp is this way, because that was right by a camp. Let me walk up this little side trail here. And it definitely looked like there's a nice camp up here, yes. Wow. Very nice camping around the lake. There's even a side trail going up there along this portion of the lake with other camping opportunities. So yeah, some nice camping along this trail here. Let us continue our journey on this trail here. Now, I was worried about this trail being a little muddy and boggy, and I guess it would be if it wasn't for all these nice little bridges built over all this muddy area. This is what I would call delightful hiking. I had my first real obstacle back there. It wasn't anything to whine about, you know? But for the most part, perfect hiking, really. And here we are in the most southern part of Cedar Lake with yet another campsite area. One large one right there. And a side trail going off to somewhere here. Let's check it out. So I think this is just going out to the lake. Yeah, so far to see that one large camping area there. We have just been hiking on that side of Cedar Lake for just a little bit there, but for the most part, we have been out there to the left of the lake for a while, up in the woods there. So I just caught up with that group that signed in before me yesterday. One of them was sitting on the side of the trail there reading a book, and the rest of the group was down looking for the lean-to. They stayed at the lean-to right down the trail from me, that one we visited after my camp. So I might run into them later. She couldn't give me an idea of where they're heading to. I told them I'm heading to Mud Lake or West Lake. She said it depends on how everybody's feet feel, so I know how that is with a group of people. If it's a group of 6, that's a lot. On where we go. I'm getting my first glimpses of Mud Lake over here. Soon we'll be coming up on a lean-to and a campsite. And I decided that's where I'm going to take a break, have a lunch. It's still pretty early in the day. I think I'll take a nice long break up here. Then after that, I'll look for the primitive campsite that's around West Lake. We'll call for the day there. This part of the trail's a little washed out. There was a sign back there behind me that said follow the arrows for the reroute. I believe that's going this way. So I can see how this section here could be a bit of a pain if it was in wet weather. It's been pretty dry lately, and it's still a little squishy. I can imagine how bad this could get. So I just crossed that stream there. It's running into Mud Lake. And this is an important reason to have some GPS because I think I fell off the trail. I know the trail is this way, according to my GPS I downloaded. So it had some blue markers for a while when I was hiking there, and then it kind of just, I think I might have lost them. Not too long ago. I mean, I can always turn around. But thanks to my GPS, I can watch this right through here. And I know the trail's going to be up there. I'm starting to think that maybe I didn't take the route away from the washed out trail because it said follow arrows, and I have not followed any arrows. I just been following the blue Northville Placid trail markers that they have up there. So maybe I goofed up. We're still on the right track. Just an example of why it's good to have some GPS downloaded because there's no reception here. I haven't had reception since I got out of the car. Okay, here's the trail. I was just right there. It was actually to the left of me here. I was barely off of it. Anyway, this is our direction. I think I'll enjoy this sunny meadow, a little bit of shade here by this trail register, and have my lunch, because we're only about 1.2 miles from where I'm going to look for camps. This place is as good as any. And I grabbed a couple of these Fit Crunch bars. Robert Irvin. Now, I discovered these on the Tuscarora Trail. A lot of calories and they're quite tasty. I can't find the big bar that I did in the store down there, but my local store does sell the small ones. 2 of these equal 1 big bar, so this is going to be, what's this, 380 calories. Yeah, 380 calories. Hey, welcome to the North Country Trail. Yeah, I think for the remainder of our hike, we're going to stay on the North Country Trail all the way until it breaks off to our access trail back to the car. Now, from walking up a little bit from that intersection I was taking a break at, I came across this sign that said lean to this way. So the map looks like it says the primitive camping is in this area too. So I figure I'm gonna take a walk down and see if I can find a camp down here. It's close to the lake, which is cool. Looks like I already see the lean to. So I just had a chat with a thru hiker of the North Placid Trail there. What's it called? The Northville Placid Trail. 138 miles. He's doing it in 2 weeks. And he gave me some info up here. There's already some guys camping at this campsite that I was aiming towards, this other primitive campsite, but 1.25 miles further, he said there's one that's empty. So I'll take a look for myself. Yeah, he's carrying all the food at once on it. A 2-week trip, 40 pounds of food. Whoa, that's hardcore. So that's something to look into. I might check that out. 138 miles up here. This time of year is beautiful. Look at this awesome bridge I get to cross. Now here we're up on Mud Lake still. Where's this West Lake? No, we're over at West Lake now. Can't beat this, man. Oh, the wind feels good. The sun is hot, but not too hot. Whew. Yeah, he's 5 days into his 2-week journey. Doesn't have much of a plan, he said. He's just going for it, you know. And sometimes the way to do it, just use your experience and everything you know and be like, well, give myself 2 weeks and see where I end up. All right, I just talked to another hiker. And I passed another one before that with a dog. He's carrying a big load of sticks wrapped up too. I wonder if they're all heading to that tent spot lean-to that was occupied. I just passed that. Didn't film anything there. Bunch of guys there. I wouldn't say they're loud, but you know, you can hear a bunch of people just talking. There was another camp right alongside the trail, but I would have had to listen to them all night. Information I just got off this last guy. So right up here by this stream, there's some nice tent spots and a lean-to shortly up here, but nobody's at yet. So he sounded, the way he said it was like right around the corner up here. He didn't give me any like mileage. Guy I talked to just before him, the thru hiker, said 1.25 miles. No, I haven't gone that far yet, so we'll see. Okay, the second hiker was right. I got a nice tent site right there, lean-to up here. I'm gonna go ahead and set up this campground here next to this cool looking stream. Nice and comfy looking. What a nice peaceful spot. There's a lot of people that showed up. Somebody took the lean-to up here above me. It was that group that signed in before me. And the same person I talked to earlier. Apparently the rest of the group were searching for some caves that were down there. The French Louis caves. I didn't know about that. I had like all day to like goof around and stuff. I could have went down there and checked it out too. So I missed out on that. Whatever. Okay. Some fishermen showed up. They're hiking up and down the stream here. Kind of just yakking about. I mean, everybody's super friendly. People up here in the lean-to are friendly. They both have dogs, both groups. Glad I snagged this campsite here. I don't know what other options there are down the trail. It's a Thursday night now and tomorrow is Friday night. So we'll see if I want to stay another night or not. I might not. 9.3 miles I can hike straight out to the car. So we'll see how I feel. Just sitting in the middle of a stream here, enjoying the view. Thinking the dogs will at least keep the bears away, you know? That's a good thing. Okay, we're off. I could actually hop on the rocks down here by the stream, come right to the bridge and not disturb their camp. And their two dogs, they have two dogs up there. So I just sneak out the bottom here. Started a 9-mile journey today. I think since I did some extra miles yesterday, only left me with 9 miles left on my planned trip here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make the day of it and head back to the car. Now the Northville Placid Trail is gonna break off to the right there. We're gonna continue on the North Country Trail all the way back to our access trail to the car, the French Louis Trail. Talking to the few hikers today that were already coming in. I'm not the only one. This is their first experience in the Adirondacks, and like I said, it didn't disappoint. This has been fantastic. The weather definitely helps. I'm walking down this last lean-to down by Pillsbury Lake. Visit that before I head out. We're about 4 miles out now. Just been cruising along through this forest here. Went through a little boggy area, and the lean-to is down here somewhere. So I figure I'll take a break, enjoy the day a little bit. It's still pretty early in the morning. Take out the last lake before I get in the car and take the long journey home. Welcome to Pillsbury Lake. Nice lean-tos on this trail. Fall's definitely upon us. Nice stop here. Climb up out of here. Had a nice little break there. Let's head back to the car. Another group of hikers comes in. We just got back to our junction with the Pillsbury Mountain parking where we parked. So our loop is over and we're heading back down. It's about 2.5 miles, but it's all down. As I was just telling them, enjoy the weekend, had a great time. Couldn't be happier with my first visit to the Adirondacks. Now I know this didn't involve any peaks, which the Adirondacks is famous for, but just the forest, being out here, the smell too. Just a constant smell of pine needles. The lakes were amazing to hike around for a few days. Nice views of all the lakes. Nice shelter set up. That Northfield Placid Trail, I'm curious about that one. I'm gonna put that on the list, look into that. Because this is just a lovely, lovely area. I mean, there's so much to explore up here. I'm definitely gonna be leaving here wanting more. Yeah, you can find this loop on all trails, so check it out. I highly recommend checking out the West Canada Lake Wilderness website. They have some nice maps on there, phone numbers if you want to call anybody. Always come out with a compass, download GPS. I had no reception the entire time. Now I remember back at the car I had a little reception, so I think the closer I get to that, I'll have some, but you're gonna have no reception out here. So if you want to get away for a little bit, see some beautiful starry skies. Wow, quiet, no road noise. Maybe see a helicopter land in the middle of the lake. Yeah, check this trail out, it was worth it. 3 days was great. You could do this in one night, but why bust through it? I could see a group of people spending 3 nights out here. Why not? What a great time in the Adirondacks. See y'all next time.